Hey, what's up everyone? Anton here, and welcome to a late episode of Marketer Monday. I know I usually get the show out like on time every week, religiously on Monday. It's a little bit late this week, and that's because if you follow me on social media, you know this, but that's because for the past 36 hours, I've actually been in transit, all the way from Saigon in Vietnam to Dubai to New York, now finally back in Austin, actually in my home office right now, and it definitely feels good to be back. So that's why it's a little bit late. Again, I apologize, but the good news is every time I'm in Saigon, and this time was no different, I get to meet up with all my entrepreneurial friends out there, get to have a lot of discussions about business, and everyone just dives deep. It's kind of like mini masterminds, like everyone just dives deep into what's going on in their businesses, and that gives me a whole bunch of new ideas, a whole bunch of new, really, things that I could try on my own, and then of course deliver to you to let you know the results. But with that being said, there's one thing that I was discussing with my entrepreneurial buddies out there that's been in my mind a lot, and that's what I want to talk about today, and that's really the difference between a content marketing approach versus a direct response first approach to marketing, to lead generation, to sales. So that's what I want to talk about with you today in this episode of Marketer Monday. All right, so what I wanted to do is give you some examples of websites that use the content marketing approach and then also websites that use the direct response approach. So what you're looking at right now is HubSpot.com. It's a software, and this is actually blog.hubspot.com, but the blog is where they get most of their leads from. I've read a bunch of books on this company. It's a software company, but again, they are huge when it comes to content marketing, and they have been for a really long time. So if you want to go to their website, I'll link it up below this video, but you could basically see that they have not just one, but they have two blogs. They have one on marketing, they have one on sales, and as you can see, they post to it religiously. Here you go, 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago, 1 day ago, they have two different blog posts. Literally, like all week, they're putting out new blog posts, and they're doing this because they really focus on content marketing and because they really want that inbound traffic. So as you can see here, this is just a random article I pulled up, 13 words you should never use in sales email subject lines, and they're doing this because they want people to go on Google and search for something like, sales email subject lines, then find this blog post, then land on their website. And the goal when you're doing content marketing like this is to put out content that's valuable enough that people will come to your website, that they'll get value, and then they'll hopefully opt into your email list, or maybe bookmark your blog to come back, or maybe eventually opt into something, right? So the actual approach does make sense, but here's the issue I see all the time. It's that people are launching new businesses and they don't already know what their customers need. They don't know what they want. They don't know how to talk to them, and they want to start a blog, or they want to start just putting content out there. And that should never be the approach, because when you take that kind of shotgun approach and just want to put out content, maybe daily or weekly or whatever it is, you have to make sure it's good content. But even more importantly, well, probably just as important, you have to make sure it's what your audience wants, and you have to just make sure you're directing them to the right place. So for example, where so many people fail is they say, okay, I want to start a business, and the first thing I'm going to do is start a blog for it to build my audience. Well, no, that shouldn't be it. I 1000% believe you should always start with direct response. And honestly, for most businesses, that's all you ever need. So let me give you an example here. This is one of our websites. It's Dropship Lifestyle. And this is one of our opt-in pages, right? And this is where we send most of our traffic. This is a perfect example of direct response. We will run Facebook advertisements and Google advertisements and advertisements on similar blogs that have our audience, and we'll send them to this page. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of this video, a lot of direct response pages only have a few hundred words. As you see, this is the whole page, right? This is all the people see. And the reason this is called direct response is because we're not giving them any value on this page. We're trying to get them to do something right away, to respond to this page. And to us, that means clicking send me the free training, giving us their name and email address, clicking get instant access now. Then we have that lead. Then we start to actually, basically educate this lead on our company and sell to them that way. Now, of course, this page, because it's so, I guess, vague, you can even call it, it's direct response page, it's not getting indexed in Google, it's not getting a ton of free traffic, it's not really building a relationship with the lead, but we're trying to get as much traffic as possible through paid so that we can acquire those leads, we can get them to directly respond to this message, and so we can educate them and eventually have them become customers through marketing down the line now that they're on our email list. So our approach is to use our advertising dollars to get people to pages just like this, rather than to put it into content. Basically, to have content like this created and this, I guess, consistently, it costs a lot of money. I know HubSpot has huge content teams that do this all for them, right? So you basically have to make the decision, where are your advertising dollars going to go? Where are your marketing dollars going to go? Will it be to content creation, or will it be to advertisements for direct response marketing? And I have to say, if you're getting started, it's a no-brainer. It should be direct response. If you are established, if you have extra money to spend, and I really do mean it that way, if you have extra money in your budget, then it's time to start thinking about the content marketing approach. But even then, it should be a very well thought out approach to this. It's not as easy as just putting out a blog and seeing what happens. The way you have to think about this is, a lot of people who find these articles and then hit this site, they might not be the ideal customer for HubSpot, right? For HubSpot software. It's a super high-end software for their big packages that they actually want to sell. It's up there, right? But their approach is just bring in kind of hordes and hordes of people through content, and then hope that enough of them do eventually want to ascend and be customers of HubSpot marketing. Well, on the other hand, with an approach like this, we can be super laser targeted with our traffic, because again, we're paying for it. We could send people straight to this page, we can get their name and email, then we can start to indoctrinate them and eventually sell them products if they're a good fit. So again, guys, if you're wondering what to do, if you really want to start a blog or get into content marketing, my advice is don't even think about it until you have plenty of extra budget to spend. Know that the time it takes to get results from an approach like that is so much greater than the direct response approach. With this, a page like this, you could build in about an hour. Seriously, to have this whole page built. Then you could turn on Facebook ads that you could set up in maybe another hour, and you could start building names and email lists and subscribers and getting customers right away. Whereas the blog approach takes months, if not years, and more often than not, years to get right. So just know that it's something to think about, but definitely don't start with. If you want to see kind of what like a blended strategy looks like, you could check out our website, performancemarketer.com. As you could tell on the homepage, the main call to action is name and email, so you can learn how to get more traffic, you could build a better business, you can get more value out of your leads. That's the main call to action. This is a direct response type homepage, but then we also do have our blog, right? We're putting out content. We are working on that inbound with the goal to retarget people that visit our blog, have them come to a page similar to this, have them opt in, have them come on our email list, and then again, we can build that relationship and eventually send them into customers. So guys, that's my thought process on content marketing versus direct response. Hope that helps you. And honestly, I hope it saves you a lot of time and money if you're starting to look into content marketing. Again, my advice is it's not worth it, especially not in the beginning. You can make a lot more money putting your dollars into ad spend for direct response type pages. So hope that helps, guys. Again, I apologize. This week's episode was a little late. If you got value, please do give it a thumbs up or a like, and definitely share it with someone who would get value as well, and someone that you could help save some money if they're thinking about putting out more and more content and paying for it. Definitely do not have to start that way. And again, in my opinion, you shouldn't. So I will talk to you all next week for the next episode of Marketer Monday. And in the meantime, be sure to check out our website at performancemarketer.com for all of our latest trainings. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.